In inner alchemy, squaring the circle is one of the most powerful symbols of transformation and spiritual completion. It represents the mystical union of opposites, the union of the finite and infinite, earth and heaven, body and spirit, or human and divine. The circle symbolizes the eternal, unbounded, and divine principle. It is the image of heaven, spirit, and the one without beginning or end. In inner alchemy, the circle corresponds to the original essence, spiritual consciousness. The square represents the material world, structure, and earthly form that which has boundaries and limitations. It corresponds to the body, essence, or substance, in alchemical language. To square the circle is to achieve the union of spirit and matter, or the integration of heaven within earth, or the divine within the human. The inner transformation where opposites are not destroyed, but harmonized. This union reflects what mystics call the marriage of the king and queen, sun and moon, yang and yin, or the rebirth of the true self. Inner alchemy used this symbol as a map of meditation and transformation. The circle represents pure awareness and boundless consciousness. The square represents embodied life, personality, ego, and form. You must bring the circle into the square, and allow the infinite awareness to fully inhabit and illuminate the finite self. You must create the philosopher's stone within. When the circle is squared, the center, the axis mundi or heart becomes the meeting point of heaven and earth. What must you do to accomplish this? Transform your nature or character to mirror that of God's nature or character. This is the awakening of the inner immortal body, the golden elixir, or the realization of the true self beyond duality. The square, matter and the finite, represents the physical body, the four earthly elements, earth, air, fire, and water, and the limitations of the material world. Order and structure symbolizes the logical, rational, and tangible aspects of existence. Stability, the sturdy, four-sided shape represents grounding and being rooted in the material world. Preparation, in certain contexts, the square is viewed as the base or foundation from which the spiritual journey begins. The circle, in certain contexts, the circle is viewed the spiritual journey destination. Finite and the infinite, represents the divine, the eternal, unity, and consciousness, and the human aspect of existence. Flow, symbolizes the dynamic and duality nature of reality. Beings moving from mortal to immortal and vice versa. Unity, the unbroken line of the circle represents the ultimate perfection. Significance in the alchemical process. The process of squaring the circle is the essence of the great work, opus magnum, representing the inner alchemist's journey toward the creation of the philosopher's stone, or the golden elixir, within the body. This process involves a transformation of the human nature, or character, so as to mirror that of the divine nature or character. The alchemist's first works is to break down the imperfect nature and transform it into the perfect nature, symbolically transforming the square into a circle. Purification, through mirroring the nature or character of God, the mind, heart and body is purified to the quintessence ascended being. Reintegration, this purified essence is then recombined into a new, unified whole. As alchemical texts describe, one makes a round circle from the square, and then a triangle, before finally returning to the original circle. This sequence of shapes is a metaphor for the transformative process. Embodiment of enlightenment, the final product, the squared circle, symbolizes the realization of the inner portal to immortality, a state of embodied enlightenment where the finite, material self is completely reconciled with the infinite, spiritual self. A dynamic process of balancing opposites. Squaring the circle is not a static state but a dynamic process that involves the constant interplay of opposites. Heaven comes to earth. In one interpretation, the circle descending into the square represents the spiritual becoming embodied in the physical, anchoring divine consciousness in the material world. Earth ascends to heaven. The opposite movement, the square being rounded into a circle, signifies the liberation of the old character from earthly limitations and its ascent toward the eternal. The significance of squaring in inner alchemy is in this reconciliation of polarities, turning a geometrically impossible problem into a profound spiritual metaphor for the integration of mind, body, and spirit into a perfect, harmonious whole. The squared circle, in alchemical symbolism, represents the philosopher's stone, embodying the union of opposites, the infinite, divine circle and the finite, earthly square. This symbol reflects the alchemical quest to reconcile the material and spiritual realms, achieving transformation and enlightenment. The squared circle, in alchemical symbolism, represents the philosopher's stone, embodying the union of opposites, the infinite, divine circle and the finite, earthly square. This symbol reflects the alchemical quest to reconcile the material and spiritual realms, achieving transformation and enlightenment. The squared circle signifies the completion of the great work, where material and spiritual worlds are harmonized, representing both physical and mystical transcendence.